Okay, so today I'm going to be looking at unboxing and looking over the Olight Freyr in orange. So before we do that, let's have a quick look over the packaging. Okay, so taking a closer look at the box, obviously on the front we have the Olight branding, the name of the torch, the Freyr, built for all, multicolour tactical light, and it's limited edition orange. You've got a picture of the torch on the front with its maximum throw and maximum lumens. And on each side we have the Olight branding with the model Freyr. On the bottom we've got the 5-year warranty promise, and on the top is the serial number and barcode. Then obviously on the back we have the details, features and basic specifications, which if you want to have a look at, just pause. So if we have a quick run through of the features this torch comes with. Its maximum brightness is 1750 lumens and has a maximum runtime of 15 days, which is 360 hours. Has a maximum throw distance of 360 meters. Its candela is 32,400 and has an IPX rating of 8. It has a drop rating of 1.5 meters, and this is a limited edition in orange with about a 6,000 run. Okay, so opening the box. It opens from the side and is clearly held with magnets, so again it does feel a very quality box, something obviously a design team's put a bit of effort into. So on opening the box, first of all we're greeted with thank you for being part of the Olight family. Your support is why we do this. Enjoy, the Olight team. And then yellow plastic with congrats on your new Olight Freyr. Before first use, unscrew the tail cap and remove the yellow insulating film. Gives you details of how to do that. Please charge it fully before you turn it on. Charge directly via the provided USB magnetic charging cable. The sensor may not work if it's blocked by water, dirt or scratches on the front lens. Please keep the lens clean to ensure that it works properly. If the product is left unused or carried and transported, please lock the button to avoid accidental activating the flashlight. On taking out the yellow plastic, we are then greeted with the contents of the box. So what do you get in the box? Obviously you get the torch, you get a battery, which is the Olight proprietary rechargeable 5000 mAh 3.6 volt 21700 lithium ion. You get the charger for the torch, and this is a 2 amp MCC3 USB magnetic charging cable. You get a case or pouch for the torch. You get the 2-way deep carry pocket clip, and obviously the instruction manual. With this torch you also get a silicon traffic wand diffuser, which should only be used on the red, green, blue, moonlight and low white modes. This can also be carried in the holster with the torch. You simply put the diffuser in first and the torch will then fit into the diffuser, so they can be carried and stored together. So to start with, I take out the actual case, which contains the torch and the diffuser. So, quick look over the case. It's a magnetic clip, and to be fair, it feels fairly secure. On the top, we have a hole with a metal stud, and on the bottom, we just have another plain hole, obviously to allow for any ventilation and water. On the back, we have the belt clip, or molly clip, both Velcro and button. And you see there's 2 ways to attach. You've got a sewn part which just will fit straight over the belt. Obviously you need to take your belt off for that. And then Velcro, obviously to hold that shut, and button clip to either quick access for the belt or other ways of mounting it on certain things. And a D-ring on the top for any carabiner clips or other ways to attach. Okay, before I get the torch out, see what else we get. Also an orange cardboard box inside, which clearly contains the charging lead and clip. So if I open that, we have the Olight MCC 1 amp, 1.5 amp and 2 amp charging cable, the proprietary magnetic charger on one end and USB on the other. And also the clip, which looks like to be black. So at the bottom of the box we've got a thank you, and the last thing I took out was the Olight user manual for the Freyr, which we'll have a look at later. So In the case we have the torch, which itself is encased in the actual diffuser. So the torch and its accessory fits quite nicely into the case. So the torch in itself will fit separately into the actual case, but it's fairly loose and doesn't really fit very snugly. So it's clearly better to keep them all together. So looking at the main item, the body is made up of aluminium alloy. The head is obviously wider than the main body, and down from the head of the torch you can see the fan-shaped heat sinks. At the neck you have the first button, and the grip is nicely covered in knurling. The base is removable, it's magnetic, it will freestand, it has a tail switch, it also has 3 raised points to cover the tail switch when standing, and it also has a hole for a lanyard. The head of the torch is surrounded by a subtle granulated bezel, which in itself surrounds the glass lens. So my first impressions of the torch, it feels solid and well made. I can't see any defects or issues in the machining or the anodizing. It doesn't feel like anything will break even if treated a bit rough. It feels good in the hand, and with the knurling grip it doesn't feel like it will slip easily out from wet hands or wet gloves. The screw base cap screws on and off easily and very smoothly. The two-way carry clip can be located both at the head and base of the torch, and does feel comfortable to hold. So although it can be carried in the pocket, you can certainly notice it. I wouldn't say it's overly uncomfortable or overly bulky, but you definitely know it's there. So this torch is orange throughout, with black accents on the bezel, side switch and the carry clip, with the tail switch being silver. So looking at the overall dimensions, its length is 13.6 centimeters, which is 5.35 inches. Its head diameter is 4.05 centimeters, which is 1.59 inches. Its body diameter is 2.56 centimeters, which is 1.01 inches. And its tail diameter matches with the body. Its weight, including the battery, is 202 grams, which is 7.13 ounces. Its weight without the battery is 130 grams, which is 4.6 ounces, which means the battery weighs roughly about 70 grams. So before first use, you do need to unscrew the torch tail cap and remove the insulating film protecting the battery. You will then find the proprietary rechargeable 5000 mAh 3.6 volt 21700 lithium ion battery. It is an 18 watt hour battery and has built-in circuit protection from overcharging and discharging. Although I can't find it on it, if it's like other similar batteries from Olight, it will also be a 10 amp high discharge current. Like all batteries, there is a positive and negative end. But on this proprietary model, there is also a positive and negative connection at the positive end. It is obviously advised to fully charge the battery before first use. You get a 0.5 meter MCC3 USB-A magnetic charging cable. It's a DC 5 volt 2 amp and will charge at 1, 1.5 and 2 amps. On the magnetic charging end, there is a red-green LED charging indicator. Red indicates charging, green indicates fully charged over 95% or disconnected from the torch. The positive end of the battery needs to face the LED end of the torch. For most efficient charging, it is advised to use a 10 watt 5 volt 2 amp power source and advised to only use an MCC3 charger, as this torch is not compatible with an MCC charger. So there are 4 LEDs in this torch. The main cool white one, which is a luminous SST40. Then in the lens there are 3 LEDs spread about equally, a red, a green and a blue. The white LED is a cool white at about 6500K. The other 3 LEDs are high efficiency, with red being at 635 nanometers, green being at 515 nanometers and blue being at 470 nanometers. The lens itself is a smooth reflector. This itself also has a central area and a flood area, with the 3 separate RGB LEDs surrounding the main white LED in the center. So at the head of the torch, the lens is surrounded by a black bezel with about 20 slightly raised crenulations. The bezel itself is fairly subtle and non-aggressive. So looking over some of the safety features of this torch, it has an IPX rating of 8, which should be sufficient for a 1.5 to 2 meter submersion in water for half an hour or so. IP stands for ingress protection, and the 2 X's stand for dust and water, with the first X representing dust and the second X representing water. So I've noticed a lot of companies now don't tend to pay for the dust testing, but generally this is because if it has a good waterproof protection, it will still have a good dust protection. It has been drop tested to 1.5 meters. It has heat sinks and there are some raised areas between the side button and the head of the torch. The torch has a lock function, has a proximity sensor in the lens that will drop the light level automatically to prevent any accidents if close objects or bright light is detected, and this will only work on the high mode. I did test this function on this torch, and after 2 minutes of being continuously blocked, it did not automatically turn the light off. But to be fair, I can't see any instructions or details that suggest this should happen. So while in this mode, you can still change from the white to RGB and moonlight modes, and you can also activate the high white light again on the tail switch, but this will still automatically drop the light level to low if still being blocked, unless you're using the half press function of the tail switch. in which case the lights will be on high. The response distance will vary between 3 and 50 centimeters. The sensor may not work if blocked by water, dirt or scratches. When the torch is turned on high white momentarily, the proximity sensor will not work. Torch should only be set to low mode when using the silicon traffic wand. There is a hole in the tail switch cap for a lanyard, but it does not come with one. It comes with a two-way deep carry clip which can fit at either end of the torch. The torch is tail standing, that can be a bit unstable due to the 3 raised points on the bottom. So now looking over the user interface. This is a dual switch torch and uses 2 switches, a rubber side button with a small LED indicator and a metal tail switch. These can be used interchangeably with each other, i.e. turn on with the tail and turn off with the side button, but they do both have very different functions. You must beware not to short circuit the tail cap switch, as this could result in a less than 3 milliamp discharge and may lead to a complete battery drain. This torch has 7 modes. There are 3 white levels. There's a high, a low and a moonlight, and then there's the red, green and blue lights and the strobe light. So to use the torch, we'll start with the side switch from off. A single press will turn on the last used mode. This could be a colour or moonlight. A double press will turn on the high white light. This can't be memorised. A triple press will turn on the strobe mode, but this is only for the white light. If you press and hold for 1 second, moonlight mode is activated. If you press and hold for 2 seconds, it will then go into lock mode. So when the torch is already on and you press the side switch from on, a single press will turn the torch off, a double press will cycle through the high white and the low white, and triple press will activate the strobe. If you press and hold the button when the light is on, it will cycle through red, green, blue and moonlight. The tail switch only has 1 configuration, but has 4 different modes. You have a short half press, which is low white on. You have a long half press, which is low temporary on until you let go. You have a short full press, which is high on. You have a long full press, which is high temporarily on until you let go. So moonlight mode is 5 lumens and will run for about 15 days, which is 360 hours. And this has a 19 meter throw. Low mode is about 300 lumens and will run for 9.5 hours and has a 150 meter throw, which is about 570 minutes. High mode is around 1750 lumens and will run for 2 minutes and has a 360 meter throw. So after 2 minutes, the 1750 lumens will drop to 850 lumens, which is about 50%. This will then carry on for about 2.5 hours and it will then drop again to 300 lumens, which is about 16% of the original 1750 minutes. And this will then carry on for half an hour or 28 minutes. So the total runtime for high is 3 hours or 180 minutes. The red LED is 30 lumens and will run for about 22 hours or 1,320 minutes and has a rough throw of 12 meters. The green LED is about 60 lumens and will run for 14 hours, which is about 840 minutes and has a rough throw of 19 meters. The blue LED is about 25 lumens and will last for about 12 hours or 720 minutes and has a rough throw of 8 meters. The torch has a memory function, but will only return back to moonlight, red, blue or green. So to lock the torch, while off, press and hold the side button. Moonlight mode will activate and will come on briefly and then go off again. Then release the button and the torch will be locked. You will not be able to activate either the side button or the tail switch button. When you press either switch, the LED on the side button will light red. To unlock, press and hold the side button for about 1 second until moonlight mode comes on and then release the button. You can also lock out only the tail switch button by slightly loosening the tail cap. The side button will still work even when the tail cap is quite loose. There doesn't appear to be any timer setting on this torch. So the battery levels are indicated by the colour of the LED in the side button. A solid green LED means there's more than 75% charge. A solid orange LED means there's between 30 and 75% charge. A solid red LED means there's between 10 and 30% charge. A flashing red LED means there's less than 10% charge. In moonlight mode, the battery indicator will only show when the battery level is lower than 10%. So to charge the torch, you need to plug the USB-A end into a power source and then connect the magnetic end of the charger to the base of the torch and the light should turn red. The battery should charge at a maximum of up to 2 amps until the battery has been charged back to 4.2 volts. For a full charge, this should take a maximum of about 5 hours at 2 amps. This may also depend on the power of your charger. While charging, the torch still works, but you're obviously not able to access the tail switch. So okay, so I've just put the traffic diffuser on the torch and if I turn the moonlight mode on, you can see there's a slight glow to it. You might also see that Olight is imprinted into one side of the actual diffuser as well. And that's on moonlight. Then we have the red. The green, and the blue. Obviously the camera isn't picking up fully the full colours in the actual diffuser, but it is clearly red, green and blue. Actually from close range, looking directly at the diffuser on the red light, it is quite bright. And so is the green, but the red does feel brighter. And the blue. I'm going to put it on the low white, which acts like a lantern quite well and it's fairly bright. Although you're not supposed to do this, I'm going to turn on the high white light. So I don't know if you saw that, but I turned it on, it lasted for about a second, and then obviously the sensor kicked in and it dropped it down to the low white light. Okay, so I'm filming this on my iPhone, but I've now just tried to auto lock the camera. Let's see what happens when I turn the moonlight on. So now the lens and the camera shouldn't adjust to the separate lightings. So there we go, we've just seen the sensor kick in and drop the high white light setting to a low light setting. Okay, so the torch is about 1 meter from the wall. This is currently on moonlight mode. This is the red LED. This is the green LED. And this is the blue LED. So this is low white. You can see there's quite a squarish pattern on the wall, but this could be due to the 3 colour LEDs in the actual lens. And this is high white. As I get closer to the wall, you see the sensor drop and it's quite a gradual high to low fade down. And as I pull away, you can see it get brighter again. See the central white LED turns on. Hold that to red. The red is the top LED. The green is this left LED. And the blue is the right LED. Obviously depending on how you're holding the torch, but the button is at the top. So now, the blue LED is on the left of the torch. The red's at the top, and the green's at the right. Okay, so this is moonlight mode. We have red. Green. And blue. This is low. This is high. Okay, so that tree's about 10 meters. That tree's about 15 meters. That tree's about 20 meters. The house is about 100 to 110 meters, and that's about 120 meters. Okay, so if you made it all the way through, thanks for watching. It's much appreciated. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Obviously, I'm trying to reach the magic 1,000 on subscribers. So any subscribers will be much appreciated and returned. So if you like it, please leave a comment, let me know. Or also leave a comment if you think there's any ways I can improve. But thanks for watching.